Hey guys, how you doing? My name is Lena. Welcome back to another video. So today I have a little bit of more of a chatty video for saying something. Today we're going to talk about some books that I've changed my mind about. And not going to lie, it was mostly for the worst. Like when I first started doing this, I was scared, you know, of lowering some ratings. Like, I was just like, oh my god, I'm going to get so much hate for not liking this. Some ratings were a little bit bumped up. And you know what? Today we are going to change that. I have here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 books. And 10 of them are going lower. And 2 of them are going higher. But without further ado, let's just get started because I don't feel like grabbing my physical copy, so I'm just going to put an image here. So let's just start with the big one. The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. I first gave these 4 stars. And it was out of pure pressure, not going to lie, because I just didn't like this book. I don't think it's a bad book, but I just don't like it. So I'm definitely lowering this one to a 3 star. Again, I don't think this book is bad. Let me explain. So I just don't care about the writing style of a book. Even if it's dry, even if it's lyrical. And I believe that the best part about this book is the writing style. And as someone who needs heavy plot on a book to like it, this book just ain't it. And the ending felt super rushed and I just didn't like it. I just didn't like it. That's it. It's 3 stars. It's fine. It's not even bad. Like, it's okay. It's okay. I just think this book is not for me. And I own the new one, The Starless Sea. And honestly, I just don't think I'm ever going to read it because I'm pretty sure I'm not going to like it. But I still got it. But I'm pretty sure I'm not going to like it. So the first positive here is Annihilation by Jeff Vandermeer. When I first read this, I was hella confused because, you know, it's Annihilation. It's hella confusing. Like, what is this book even? Like, what is it? But the more I think about it, the more I like Annihilation. And the more I think about the sequels, the more I hate them. So the more I think Annihilation is amazing. And you know what? There's nothing else like Annihilation. I have read shit ton of science fiction since then, and there's nothing like it. Like, there's nothing like Annihilation and the feeling of confusion and what the hell is going on in horror sometimes of Annihilation. So I'm bumping up Annihilation to a 5 star. Fuck it. I love this book, honestly. Every time that I think about weird books, Annihilation is the first one that comes to mind, and I think I've recommended this book a lot lately, but with a grain of salt. It's a very intense, weird book that doesn't make any fucking sense, but it's just such a cool ride. You know, I just really like this. And if you have been here, well, you know this. I just really like Annihilation in general. So it's staying as of today as a 5-star book. So the next one that I have here is Blood of Elves by Andrzej Sapkowski. Don't get me wrong, I do like The Witcher a lot. The Witcher, but honestly, I just don't really connect with The Witcher books. I have them over there now. Yeah, I changed the background a little bit. And I've moved every book around and I just don't know where anything is now. I have the first 5 books. I first played the video games and I fucking love the video games. So after that, I decided to read the books. The thing is, I just much prefer the video games to the books. Like, I've always preferred this, but I read the short stories just preparing for the release of the Netflix show. I liked them. I thought they were enjoyable. They were like really episodic. So because I already know Geralt, I was cool with them just because I knew all the characters in general, actually, and the world. So I didn't need like too much world building or too much character development because I already have these characters settled on my mind. But then it came Blood of Elves, and honestly, I gave it 4 stars. I don't know why. Like, I don't know why, because I just don't like that book. It's not the book on itself, but I don't like how Andrzej Sapkowski constructs his stories. His stories, I just don't know what it is, but I don't like the full-length novels. Even though I read A Time of Contempt, and I like that one a lot more than Blood of Elves, I just couldn't. And I honestly don't know why I gave it 4 stars. I have no fucking clue. But no, it's not for me. Even though I say I just don't care about the writing style, when the writing style doesn't click with me, I notice. And it has to be something huge for me to actually notice. So yeah, Blood of Elves is not for me. Like at all. I still have a Baptism of Fire, and I will read that because, you know, my previous love for this series. But honestly, Blood of Elves was such a letdown. Such a letdown. Like the more I think about it, the less I like it. But I did quite enjoy Time of Contempt. There's a scene with some mages are gathering, and that was cool. That was pretty cool. But the rest, I don't know. I just really needed to lower Blood of Elves because I gave Time of Contempt also 4 stars, and in no way is closer to Time of Contempt, like in no way. So another hugely loved series, Draymond Voice by Maggie Stiefvater. I read this and I enjoyed it, don't get me wrong. I even plan on continuing with this series, but I'm not planning that anymore. I just don't think it's for me now. With my current taste, I don't think I will enjoy it. And honestly, even though I quite enjoyed the first book, I'm lowering it to a 3.5. Because now that I think about it, I'm really meh. And I have this awful way of doing things where I always rate the books right when I finish them, instead of letting them sit for a bit. And this was one of those cases where I should have let it stir a bit and then rate it. But yeah, I'm definitely lowering this up and down. But I don't think there's like anything really wrong about it. It's just that I feel nothing about this book. Like absolutely nothing. I don't hate it. I don't love it. It's just like the complete middle. So I just think it's fair for me to just put it in the 3-star category. That's it. Nothing personal, nothing against it. It's just like it is. Oh my god, I have so many... Now let's talk about B. Shrubs. So here, the thing is, I do enjoy B. Shrubs books, but I'm one of those, as many of you, that prefer the premises rather than the execution of the books. And one of the first books that I delved into when I started reading English was Conjuring, not a Conjuring, Darkest Shade of Magic. So the concept of a Darkest Shade of Magic is so cool. So cool. I loved it. Like, I loved the concept before reading the book. I was just like, I'm so going to love this. And I'm not going to lie. If I read them today, I probably will have lowered every single book at least 1 star left. Probably, but still. I'm just going to talk about A Conjuring of Light, which is the 3rd book, and the conclusion. And honestly, it wasn't that great. Like, I gave it 5 stars when I finished it because, you know, with all the hype of this author and just having finished the trilogy, I was a little bit all over the place. So I gave it like 5 stars and was just like, oh yeah, sure, 5 stars. But it really isn't 5 stars, so I'm lowering it to a 4 stars. The whole series for me is probably a 4-star series. Like, good enough for me to recommend it. But if you paid any notice, I haven't ever recommended that series to anyone. I'm just pretty meh about it. It's just, I don't know. It's weird. I'm just looking at that because it's there, like in the flooring shops. But yeah, I'm just a little bit lukewarm with this series in general. I liked it when I was reading them, but now that I'm not, I'm just a little bit, like a little bit lukewarm. Is that how you say it? I don't know, but it's fine, like, they're fine. So, I was browsing through my books, and I realized that I gave the Diviners 4 stars on Goodreads. Something like, I thought I was just like a 3.5 that I actually like rounded up, but I gave it like almost 4 stars. I was just like, no way this is happening, like, no way. So, definitely lowering the Diviners to a 3-star read. Because if I'm honest, I only read the Diviners because I wanted to read Lair of Dreams, which is the second book, and had like some type of dream magic or something related to nightmares, and I love that trope. I read this book 2 or 3 years ago. I haven't even continued, like, even though I just went through the worst part, which was reading the first book, I never read the second one because I hated the audiobook, and I hated one of the characters. The main one, was it Evie? Her name or something like that? She was so fucking annoying. I just couldn't with her. So, yeah. I'm lowering this one to 3 stars. I'm feeling so bad. This was such an awful idea. So, this is going to be pretty controversial. I have here The Secret History by Donna Tartt. I don't care about this book at all. Like, I was listening to it while I was playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey. And I like Dark Academia. I really like the concept of Dark Academia. Vita Nostra is incredible. Like, it's one of my favorite books. I really like Dark Academia, but everyone here was so fucking stupid, honestly. And I just didn't give a fuck. It started up great, in my opinion, but it just went downhill from, like, I don't know, before half of the novel, and it just was down and down and down and down from there. So I give it 4 stars because I was just like okay about it, and I just really didn't want to be the one with the unpopular opinion about this book because it's really well loved. So I was just like, okay, I'll give it 4 stars and we'll be done with it. But the other day when I was making my 4-star reads but still great video, I was just like, I gave The Secret History 4 stars and it's not that great. So I'm lowering it to a 3. Maybe, could I give it 3.5? Maybe, but definitely something in the 3 category. Because this one, just no, honestly, just no. I have lately seen more people talk about their dislike for this book, and I know I feel a little bit more comfortable about it, but I honestly do not understand the buzz behind this book. I honestly don't know. Like, I will never read anything else by this author because I just don't like how she tells stories, and I unhauled the book a long time ago, actually. So yeah, not happening. I don't know why. I just don't know why. Honestly, I just don't know why. So then I have here a couple of YA series. Muse of Nightmares, the second book after Strange the Dreamer. And hear me out. I was really excited for the release of Muse of Nightmares. This was just before I decided to start my channel, and I was just so happy about Muse of Nightmares coming out because I love Strange the Dreamer. As someone who doesn't really read YA anymore, I still love Strange the Dreamer. It has my favorite tropes of all time. I just love it. Even though it's really lyrical, I still love it. It's just fantastic. Then Muse of Nightmares came out, and honestly, it's not as good as Strange the Dreamer, but with all the hype surrounding it, I read it on the release day. I was really happy, and I gave it 5 stars. And it's not a 5-star read. Like, it's not as good as Strange the Dreamer, so I cannot have this book have the same rating as Strange the Dreamer, being in the same duology. Like, I just don't feel right with it. So I'm lowering it at, I'm lowering this book 1 star to a 4-star book. Like, it's still great, don't get me wrong, I still have much love for that duology, but I just prefer Strange the Dreamer over Muse of Nightmares. Then the other one is Dance of Thieves by Mary E. Pearson, was the name of the author, I believe. I read the Remnant Chronicles, and again, as someone who don't really read YA anymore, I still love the Remnant Chronicles. I think it's a super intelligent YA trilogy. I don't know why, but I just really like it. I just really like it in general. I think that Aaliyah, the main character, has such a great progression throughout this series. I love book 3. It was fantastic. A little bit rushed up there in the end, but still, I have so much love for that series. It's one of the few series that I actually binge read, so I really enjoyed it. But I was really hyped for the new duology that was coming out in the same world. Even though we don't follow the same characters, they do appear. They have some cameos, and I was so hyped and so happy to see them that I gave this book 4 stars. I believe that even 4.5. No. No. I'm lowering this one to a 3-star. Like, it was okay. It was okay. Really, really enjoyable. You can binge read this in like 1 day or 2. Like, it's really easy to follow, but in no way is comparable to Remnant Chronicles. I even read the little novellas of the Remnant Chronicles. That's how much I like that series. But no, Gangs of Thieves gets a 3-star read. A 3-star read, a 3-star rating for me, but I still need to read Bow of Thieves. It's actually worth it. Should I read it? I don't know. Then the other bumped, City of Lies by Sam Hawk. I gave it 4.5, I believe, or 4 stars. Sorry, 4 stars. I give it 4 stars. I'm bumping this one to at least 4.5 of 5 stars. With time, this has become one of my favorite novels. Actually, I don't know why, but this book is all full of political court intrigue. It's like, it has so many of my favorite tropes. Like, I just really like it. And the more that I think about it, the more I like it. It's such a highly underrated book. I do understand why this book might not be for everyone. It's quite slow, you know, but I love it. I'm bumping it up. This book is great. And the last one is going to sting a lot of people probably, but it's going to be The Hero of Aegis by Brandon Sanderson, which is the final book in the Mistborn Era 1. And I gave this book 5 stars. Well, let me tell you a little bit of my relationship with Mistborn. I read The Final Empire, and even though I enjoyed it, it felt so much like a standalone that I never got around to the second book till almost a year later. So I was just lukewarm about it. Like, I was just like, okay, it was fine, you know. I just don't get all this hype, but it's fine. It was okay. I liked it. I gave it 4 stars. Then I read The Wall of Ascension. Completely adored that book. That book is so good. The Wall of Ascension is so good. I gave it 5 stars. I do not regret that. It's fantastic. It's, probably not my favorite book by Brandon Sanderson because that's Elentris, but I love that. I love The Wall of Ascension. It's a close second, basically. And then I read The Hero of Aegis, and let me tell you something. The hype got to me, and I gave it 5 stars, but it's not a 5-star book. It's not a 5-star book. I actually wasn't a huge fan of the ending. I like it for where it was, but what? Those last pages, I'm not really sure about them. So this is not comparable to The Wall of Ascension in any way, shape, or form for me. I understand if it's your favorite one. I'm glad, but my favorite one is The Wall of Ascension, so I'm lowering this one to a 4-star. Like, if I could give this series like an overall rating, it will probably be 4.5. But I understand what this series is many people's favorite series, fantasy series of all time. Like, I get that, but it's just not for me. Well, not for me. It's just not exactly the type of fantasy that I love. But The Wall of Ascension is fantastic. So if you have read The Final Empire but were a little bit iffy about continuing, read The Wall of Ascension. It's just so good, like so good. So that was basically all. I tried to speed run through this because I don't want you to hate me too much. Have you ever changed the rating of your books? It's something quite curious. I never thought that I would do this, but yeah. Time actually changes your mind about some books, which is curious enough. But yeah, have you changed any of these ratings? Do you agree with some of my ratings now? Do you hate me because I just kind of lowered the rating of one of your favorite books? Probably. But Annihilation and the City of Lies are so good. But that's going to be all for today. So as always, I will see you in the next one. Bye.